If you're hearing this, it's not an accident. It's a signal. A call that was never meant to reach the masses, only the few who feel the stir beneath the surface of the world, who know something ancient is moving again. Maybe you don't know what it is. Maybe you've just been feeling the pull, the restlessness, the sense that the world around you is somehow too shallow to contain all of what you are. If so, you've already begun. And here, at Grit Tales, we don't just tell stories, we unlock codes. There are no coincidences, only currents, vibrations that rise when the soul is ready. And what you're about to hear isn't information, it's transmission, the kind that slips past logic and burrows straight into your energetic field. So don't just listen. Tune in. If you feel this transformation stirring within you, type in the comments. I am the creator of my own reality. The transformation starts within me. Before there were ooks, before religions codified truth into doctrine, before minds divided reality into facts and fictions, there was one code. Not written in ink, but etched in stone. The Emerald Tablet. Left behind by Hermes Trismegistus. Not to explain the world, but to reveal its essence. Not through paragraphs, but through frequency. Each phrase was a key, each word a vibration sharp enough to rearrange the universe. And it did. But the map wasn't meant for every eye. It was buried in silence, until 3 initiates took its essence and shaped it into something those who are ready could finally touch. The Kybalion. It reads like poetry to the mind, but to the awakened, it's lightning, not to be understood, but lived. Because what's hidden there doesn't activate through memory, it awakens through resonance. That's why so many study, yet never awaken. They approach it with intellect, but the field doesn't speak logic, it speaks energy. And the Kybalion was never written to teach, it was written to rewire. Hermetic wisdom doesn't shout, it doesn't convince, it hides the gold in the one place no thief can steal, from within. You don't need to add anything, you only need to remember. And when you do, something ancient breaks open, because you realize this world, this solid, noisy, endless world, is only a sliver of what truly is. It's a veil, a filter, one you didn't even know was there. You've lived thinking this was all, that your identity was bound to your name, your job, your face in the mirror. But that's not identity, that's amnesia. Hermes said it best, our greatest prison isn't made of metal, it's ignorance, not of facts, but of essence. As long as you see yourself as only the body, the role, the labels, you're trapped in reaction, trapped in the illusion. Your vibration shrinks, and with it, so does your world. This illusion doesn't feed on truth, it feeds on forgetting, on distraction, on external noise. It wants you to keep fighting shadows out there so you never notice the chains inside. But the field doesn't lie. The field reflects. And when it's reflecting fear, lack, doubt, it's not the world limiting you, it's you echoing limitation back to yourself. You can change your house, your job, your relationships. But unless the inner frequency changes, the outer world repeats. It must. Because the vibration doesn't care about your wants. It mirrors your being. So you can run for years, blaming fate, blaming timing, blaming others. But all you're doing is outrunning a truth that's never stopped chasing you. The Kybalion said it clearly. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Reality isn't made of things. It's made of frequencies. What you call solid is only vibration slowed down. Matter is movement. Thought is energy. Your life is a loop of the signals you emit. It's not a punishment. It's precision. You are the cause. You are the transmitter. And every day the universe plays back your song. At Grit Tales, we don't feed illusions. We break them. And we do it not by telling you what to believe, but by activating what you've always known. hidden beneath the noise, buried under survival. Truth doesn't need convincing. It only needs remembering. Now ask yourself, what are you really vibrating? Not what you say, not what you post, but what you feel when no one's watching. That feeling is your frequency, and that frequency is your reality. If you've made it this far, then you've already pierced the first veil. You're ready to remember, not tomorrow, not after the next book, the next course, the next sign. Now this is where it begins. But beginnings aren't born in noise. They're born in silence, in the spaces between thoughts. That's where the first shift occurs. Not in the mind, but in the frequency beneath it. You start to feel it before you understand it. You walk into a room and sense a heaviness. You meet someone and feel their smile isn't real. You read a sentence and it stirs something you forgot you knew. That's the field talking. And when you start listening, everything begins to move. The Kybalion didn't come to be memorized. It came to be remembered through vibration, through alignment. And the first of the 5 codes it reveals is this: everything vibrates. Reality is not static. It's in motion, always. What you think is solid, the walls, the body, the thought circling your mind, is just slowed energy, frozen rhythm. And when you realize that, you no longer feel the need to force change. You begin to attune instead. Not control. Align. You could switch cities, leave a job, escape a relationship. But if your vibration remains the same, your reality will wear different clothes and repeat the same play. Fear will find you. Scarcity will echo back. Doubt will settle in again. Not because the world is cruel, but because the field is coherent. It always gives you what you're tuned into. This isn't mysticism. It's energetic law. This is the kind of truth Grit Tales is here to echo. Loud enough to shake you awake, soft enough to draw you inward. Because the field doesn't speak English or Sanskrit, it speaks vibration. And if you're vibrating panic, anger, longing, that's what comes back. Not because the universe hates you, but because it obeys you. Your emotions are commands, your frequency the blueprint. You are both architect and inhabitant. Let that sink in. Every time you affirm what you want, but feel the opposite, you're sending out static. You say, I want peace, but you carry tension. You repeat, I attract abundance, but you walk with the weight of lack. The words are air, the frequency is substance, and the field only responds to coherence. But here's the key. You don't need to fake high vibrations. You don't need to smile when you're hurting, or pretend you're healed when you're still bleeding. That's not alignment. That's suppression. What you need is presence. Feel the pain, but don't become it. Witness the fear, but don't feed it. Let the emotion rise, speak, move, then choose again. This is the art of tuning, of choosing the signal over the noise, and it starts with small, sacred actions. Light a candle with attention. Sit in silence for 7 minutes. Breathe like you've never breathed before. Not to manifest something, but to come back into resonance with who you truly are. Because manifestation is not magic, it's coherence. And in that coherence, something ancient unlocks. The second code reveals itself. You attract not what you want, but what you vibrate. Desire without alignment creates longing. Frequency with clarity creates reality. You can't fake the field, but you can train it. And that training begins in the body. Not with affirmations spoken mindlessly, but with declarations made from a felt place. I hold the vibration of peace, not as a wish, but as a state. I vibrate self-worth, not for others to notice, but for your field to reflect. Speak it not like a prayer, but like thunder. You see, the story you're living isn't written in your past. It's being coded right now by your present vibration. And every reaction, every complaint, every comparison is a choice. Not of words, but of frequency. When you stop reacting to what is and start choosing what will be, you stop recycling the same reality. It takes discipline, not punishment, but precision. When your thoughts wander into fear, breathe. When your mood dips into scarcity, pause. When you feel the pull to complain, choose silence instead. Not because silence is passive, but because silence is a tuning fork. In that stillness, your field recalibrates. And when it does, the world changes. Not because it became new, but because you finally tuned into what was always waiting for you. At Grit Tales, we believe reality is not something that happens to you. It's something that emerges from you. You are not the reflection. You are the source. And when your frequency shifts, your entire timeline bends. Because the world doesn't change when you force it. It changes when you outgrow the vibration that built the old one. Now look around. What are you living? And more importantly, what are you vibrating? This is not philosophy. This is power. And you're just getting started. Power is not force. Power is frequency, and the highest frequencies do not shout. They radiate. They shift the entire room without a word. That's what happens when you begin aligning. When you stop asking life to behave and instead train your field to lead. Reality stops reacting and starts responding. And it's not about control. It's about remembering that you never needed control. You needed resonance. Resonance starts in the body. The field doesn't respond to ideas. It responds to embodiment. Thought is fast, emotion is fuel, but embodiment, that's where the shift anchors. That's where the field says, "Now I believe you." Because when your body holds the feeling before the proof arrives, the proof must arrive. That's not law of attraction fluff. That's energetic mechanics. That's the secret buried in ancient hermetic codes. You don't attract what you say. You attract what you confirm. Emotion is the confirmation. And not just any emotion, the ones you feed without noticing. The tight chest when the bill comes, the pang of resentment when you see someone else thriving, the silent anxiety you carry while scrolling past filtered dreams on a glass screen. These aren't just feelings, they're vibrational scripts, and the field never misreads a script. The Kabbalion whispers it clearly. Thought alone creates nothing. It must be fueled by desire, charged by emotion. That means every manifestation, every creation, every shift in reality is born not from your wish, but from the emotional voltage behind it. Emotion is the electromagnetic password to the frequency you want to unlock. And here's where most get lost. They chase new thoughts, new books, new techniques, but their emotional baseline stays stuck. They declare wealth while vibrating guilt. They seek love while radiating abandonment. They affirm peace while reacting in anger. The words say one thing, the field feels another, and the field always obeys the louder signal. At Grit Tales, we don't offer comfort. We offer awakening. Awakening hurts because it burns what no longer belongs. But it's the burn that opens the gate. When you stop identifying with the emotion and start witnessing it, you reclaim the power to choose again. That's when transmutation begins. Transmutation isn't a metaphor. It's a vibrational event. A shift that happens not because you've read enough, but because you've finally felt deeply enough to let go. Not suppress, not override. Let go. That's when your field clears. And once the field clears, reality must reconfigure. Pick one emotion you can access without effort. Maybe gratitude, maybe love, maybe calm. Sit with it. Not like a technique, but like a friend. Feel it expand in your chest. Let it fill the spaces where anxiety used to live. Let it rise until it overflows. You're not visualizing. You're encoding. You're programming your field in a language the universe actually understands. Every time you do this, your reality begins to bend, not dramatically, not instantly, but undeniably. You'll meet different people. You'll feel different responses. Synchronicities will ripple through your path. Not because something out there changed, but because you did. Subtly, powerfully, permanently. But let's get real. You will fall. You will forget. You'll get triggered and spiral and react. That's not failure. That's the test. The question is not whether you fall. It's whether you keep feeding the vibration that pulled you under. Because every time you pause in the middle of the storm and say, "This is no longer in resonance with what I'm building," you reclaim the wheel. You realign the signal. You remind the field who you are. That's mastery, not perfection. Consciousness, the art of noticing, of shifting, of choosing, over and over again, until the choice becomes the new baseline, until the vibration becomes you. And when it does, your outer world will begin to reflect that harmony, that coherence, that intention. Not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. Remember, disharmony in the world around you isn't punishment. It's feedback. It's a mirror. If life is chaotic, it's because something inside is off-center, and the universe, in its infinite intelligence, is showing you exactly where to look. Not to judge, not to shame, to adjust, to remember. The Kybalion calls this the law of rhythm. Everything moves, everything seeks balance. The swing between opposites is the pulse of the cosmos. You cannot escape the rhythm, but you can learn to center within it. The master is not the one who never swings. The master is the one who knows how to return, again and again, to stillness. That stillness isn't passive. It's power in its purest form. And the world begins to match it, not because you imposed your will, but because you aligned with your essence. And essence, unlike ego, doesn't need validation. It only needs vibration. So breathe, center, choose again. And watch as the world you once chased begins to chase you. This is only the beginning. Real transformation doesn't start in the spotlight. It starts in the shadows, in the quiet corners of your being that you've ignored, numbed, or rushed past. When the world outside begins to fall apart, when relationships tremble, when jobs collapse, when routines no longer make sense, it's not life punishing you. It's your vibration calling itself back into alignment, and sometimes that looks like everything breaking. But breaking is often the only way the light can get in. What you see as chaos is often your own energy refusing to keep playing small. The field doesn't lie. When something inside you has outgrown its cage, the universe responds with precision. The cracks show up in the places where you've settled, compromised, or pretended. And that's not cruelty. That's grace. Raw, unfiltered, burning grace. When conflict rises, when exhaustion takes over, when the noise outside drowns out your clarity, that's not a sign to push harder. That's a call to return to center. Because nothing outside will harmonize if your internal frequency is fragmented. And no amount of productivity, explanation, or willpower can organize a field that's out of tune. You've been taught to hustle, to force, to dominate life into submission. But that's not how reality shifts. That's how ego tries to avoid the silence. True power, vibrational power, comes from presence, from stillness, from the kind of inner awareness that can hold chaos without becoming it. And here's the truth. Most of what you call problems aren't obstacles. They're patterns, vibrational signatures on repeat. You argue with the same people in different bodies. You face the same rejection in different clothes. You run into the same financial walls, emotional loops, and invisible ceilings. Because the field hasn't changed. Not truly. You're living an echo of an outdated frequency. The Kabbalion calls this the law of compensation. What swings out must swing back. The pendulum of life moves in rhythm. You can't stop the swing, but you can become still at the center. And when you're still, the storm no longer owns you. The noise no longer seduces you. The past no longer repeats through you. Grit Tales isn't here to comfort your old self. It's here to awaken the new one. And awakening, real awakening, requires confrontation. With your habits, your impulses, your triggers, the moments you raise your voice without thinking, the way your energy contracts when you feel unseen, the blame you place when things fall apart. These aren't flaws, these are portals. Each reaction is a map. Follow it, and it'll lead you straight to the part of you that needs healing, not fixing. Healing. And healing doesn't mean perfection. It means integration. It means presence. It means being able to say, yes, this part of me still hurts, but it no longer controls the vibration I offer to life. That is alchemy. But alchemy isn't abstract. It lives in the small, intentional rituals, the breath before the outburst, the pause before the scroll, the silence between thoughts, the tea made with attention, the walk taken in reverence. These aren't mundane acts. They're vibrational spells. Each one rearranges your field. Each one sends a new signal to the quantum intelligence that shapes your world. And when your signal shifts, the patterns dissolve. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped feeding the frequency that built the old life. The pain that once echoed through your body loses its grip. The stories you clung to become too heavy to carry. The urgency to prove, to explain, to win, fades. You return to center. And from that center, everything begins again. Clearer, sharper, realer. But it's not over. Because once you've found the stillness, something begins to stir beneath it. A fire. Quiet. Fierce. Alive. It doesn't come from anger, but it burns. It doesn't shout, but it moves mountains. This fire isn't destruction. It's transmutation. The inner flame that doesn't ask for permission. It comes when your soul decides, enough pretending. This is the moment where the old self dies, not with drama, but with dignity. And in its place, the real you starts to rise. Not the version the world molded, not the mask you learned to wear, but the being you've always been beneath the forgetting. And it doesn't need validation. It doesn't seek applause. It only knows one direction: forward. Through the fire. This is where we go next. As we arrive at the final phase of this transformation, we stand on the precipice of a powerful revelation, one that transcends time, space, and circumstance. It is here, at the edge of this journey, that we touch upon the true essence of the human spirit, the spark that lies within every one of us, waiting to ignite into a blazing force capable of defying even the darkest of trials. The end of the road is not a destination, but a beginning, a rebirth into something far greater than what we were before. This is the moment when we recognize the divine alchemy that has been at work within us all along. Throughout this entire process, we have shed our old skin, traversed through internal storms, and faced the unknown depths of ourselves. Every wound, every crack in the surface has been a sacred invitation, an opening to deeper understanding, a call to rise. It's not just about survival, it's about awakening. We are not here to simply exist in the mundane. We are here to transcend it, to experience life in its most primal, spiritual, and untamed form. But there is a deeper mystery, one that has been hidden in plain sight. The secret that has eluded us for so long is not something external to us. It is not a distant goal, nor a far-off vision. It is within us, woven into the fabric of our very being. The power we seek, the wisdom we long for, the peace we crave, they are not somewhere out there. They are here, within us, waiting to be unlocked. The greatest transformation doesn't happen when we change the world around us, but when we change the world within us. The key is surrender. Surrender to the flow of life, to the ever-changing river of existence that carries us forward, even when we think we have lost our way. It is through surrender that we align ourselves with the divine order of the universe, stepping into the rhythm of creation itself. But surrender is not passivity. It is the ultimate act of strength, the surrender of the ego to the soul. When we let go of our fear, our pride, our need for control, we create the space for something far greater to emerge. It is only through surrender that we are free to become who we are meant to be, unshackled, untamed, and fully alive. In this final moment, as the last layers of illusion peel away, we realize that we are not just individuals navigating a world full of obstacles. We are sparks of the divine, capable of transforming not only ourselves, but the world itself. We are the storytellers of our own existence, the architects of our own reality. So, as you stand at the crossroads of this transformation, remember this. The journey does not end here. It continues, ever forward, ever deeper. What you've learned, what you've unlocked, is just the beginning. You are now ready to embrace the next phase of your evolution, to step into the fullness of your being and claim your rightful place in the grand tapestry of existence. And as you do, carry with you the knowledge that the universe, in all its vastness and mystery, is on your side. The winds of destiny are at your back, the stars lighting your path. You are no longer the seeker, but the found. You are no longer the wanderer, but the one who knows the way. Now, with unwavering confidence, go forth into the world, radiating the energy of transformation, casting aside all that no longer serves you, and embracing the infinite possibilities that lie before you. For in this moment, you are the living embodiment of your highest potential, and the world is waiting for you to shine. If this message awakened something deep within you, don't let it fade. Claim your transformation. Type in the comments, "I am the creator of my own reality. The transformation starts within me." And if this journey moved you, share it forward. Someone out there is waiting for this spark.